Welcome to CTV News, Your Canada. It's Tuesday, December 2nd. We'll bring you profiles of fascinating Canadians and stories about your community. Thank you for watching.
Oh, nice. Wait till you see my knee bend.
Just like she always has, Carla MacLeod takes to the ice to lead the Ottawa Charge. But this practice comes a day after revealing deeply personal news.
At the end of the day, anytime you have to speak the words that, I have breast cancer, I have cancer, it's challenging.
MacLeod sharing her breast cancer diagnosis in a team meeting on Sunday before announcing the news on social media.
The narrative around breast cancer is twofold. One, it has to be within the family. I have no family history. And two, you have to be over 50. Well, I'm 43. So I think, starting to get the message out that, it doesn't know your age or your family history. It could hit any of us. Obviously, I'm a little biased and love the game of hockey.
The game of hockey has been a constant in MacLeod's life since a young age.
5-second power play now for Finland.
Winning gold twice at the Olympics with Team Canada.
This began generations before I started playing.
And since the Professional Women's Hockey League began in 2023, leading the Ottawa Charge.
They're off to the PWHL final.
To the Walter Cup final last season. Now stepping back to take care of her health.
Resort back to what sport has taught me. We learned pretty early you can only take control of what you can control.
MacLeod said she will start her treatment this week, which means she will miss the Charge's next game on Tuesday night versus Minnesota. Assistant coach Haley Irvin will stand in her place during her absence.
The human aspect of that. We're not robots here. It's hard news to handle, and I think we just lean on each other on the good days and the bad days.
At the end of practice, Emily Clark taking an extra moment with her coach.
Yeah, you don't think it's going to hit that close to home, but it's an important conversation to have. Obviously, it's hit the women's hockey world a few times now, and
ultimately I know I'll be in great hands, however it is, wherever it is, and the goal is to be back behind the bench as quick as possible and miss as few games as possible, but recognizing I got to make sure I'm healthy.
MacLeod said she is overall feeling good physically and has had time to process the news as best she can. She goes to Calgary this week to meet with doctors, and there's already a push on social media to show support for MacLeod by wearing pink at tomorrow's game. Patricia.
Yeah, an emotional one for players, obviously, and for fans, too. So we certainly wish her all the very best. Yes. Yeah, thank you.
It must have been good if I have come back so soon.
This content creator seems to be creating a buzz in Saskatchewan and beyond.
The people are my favorite part. I was made feel so welcome. I actually came on the Thanksgiving weekend, so a lot of things were closed. Strangers reached out and they were like, we want to make your time here really nice. Come and have dinner with us. Let me hang with you. I want to show you this and that. And that is not something that you get everywhere.
He quickly learned that positive sentiment about Saskatchewan isn't always the norm.
A lot of people were like, why would you come to Saskatchewan?
Harkin moved to Canada from Ireland a year ago. He now lives in Toronto. Saskatchewan wasn't originally on his itinerary until curiosity got him after hearing the name Saskatchewan in a popular song.
This is my love letter for the kindness, for the people, for the friendships that I will carry with me, for a place I didn't expect to change me, but it did.
His endearing posts seen by thousands. He even gets stopped on the street. Global followers now get a taste of prairie life through his lens.
I'm going to try and find the beauty here. I came and I loved it. So I spent time at the Western Development Museum this trip, which was insane. And my last trip I went to Wanuskevin, and that was incredible. That was my first time seeing bison in the wild.
He admits that his first trip here was sponsored through a travel company.
I actually only did Saskatoon and Moose Jaw the last time.
So this time he was back simply by choice, meeting the Saskatchewanerer in Regina.
I'm at the Agribition, and that was my first rodeo, so I can't use that phrase anymore.
He says it only gets to about -4 in Ireland, so he's not sure about a real winter visit here, but the warmth he's found from new friends might just make him brave the cold.
Thank you, Saskatchewan. Until we meet again.
Carla Shinkaruk, CTV News, Saskatoon.
It's the King's Landing historical settlement in a brand new light.
So yes, we know Christmas lights didn't exist 200 years ago.
And while it is a priority for the site to offer an authentic look at life in New Brunswick during the 1800s, Early feedback for Christmas Village Aglow, which began last week, appears to give a nod of approval to this bright exception.
I thought it was fantastic. Nice old buildings and whatnot.
The Christmas lights were all gorgeous. The church in the middle is just breathtaking.
We're seeing support both from people who are long-standing Kings Landing fans and then people who maybe either have never been or haven't been in a long time. We're giving them another reason to come back and enjoy Kings Landing.
Work began in mid-October to start putting everything up, but planning has been underway for well over a year, with lights tailor-made for some of the site's most iconic structures.
We're using the lights to highlight the buildings themselves, to honor the buildings themselves.
In addition to this being the first large-scale light show at Kings Landing, there will also be an opportunity later in December for vehicles to drive through a portion of the village for the event, something the public has never been able to do before.
The lights are so special and it brings that Christmas glee, I'm going to use that word. So we want everyone to be able to have a chance to see the lights for themselves, even if they can't make the walk.
The event runs Wednesday through Sunday until December 21st, with 2 additional days on December 27th and 28th. Tickets for the event must be bought online.
I thought it was pretty amazing, pretty magical, especially with the falling snow.
I'm hoping that they'll continue to do it in future years.
That is the goal, and in case you were wondering, no, the lights will not be left on the buildings year-round. Nick Moore, CTV News, Prince William, New Brunswick.
We'll have a 3-story setup.
Doug Scholdice has fond memories of coming to Logan's Mill in Brussels with his grandfather.
My memory is my grandfather. I remember being with him to drop bags of grain off here, have them milled, and then go to town, get the groceries, and then pick them up again and take them home.
Before gasoline and electricity, water-powered mills is how farmers and farm families turned the grain they grew into food for themselves and their livestock. Flour and grist mills were the lifeblood of rural communities. Over 60 dams and mills lined the Maitland River in Huron County alone.
Grain milling used to be done by hand, and then it went to horsepower, and this is a mill operated by belts and pulleys and all the other good things and so on a commercial basis. So it shows a lot about the history of Huron County and our general area in terms of occupying a property that was first purchased by the Canada Company a couple hundred years ago.
Laviolette and Scholdice are part of a group, the Maitland Mills Association, trying to save one of the only mills left standing in Huron County. Logan's Mill in Brussels was built in 1859. It survived 2 fires, but eventually closed in 1965. It's sat vacant ever since. Scholdice and Laviolette envision a mini museum showcasing the inner workings of the mill, including historical artifacts from other now defunct mills along the Maitland River.
It's also a place, education for school kids to come and tour, to see some of the history of the area.
Of course, nothing is cheap in the restoration business. The estimates right now to turn this old mill into a museum is approximately $750,000. Scholdice and Laviolette believe this is a valuable project to try and preserve and highlight a way of life that's almost entirely forgotten.
Our timeline is hopefully by the end of 2027 is to have something that is operational and viewable.
In Brussels, Scott Miller, CTV News.
This video was captured just east of Drumheller. At the same time, it captivated people's attention at the Calgary Zoo.
I don't know. A fireball.
For those who were lucky enough to look up at just the right time, the memory is unforgettable. Joseph Matamitsia captured this video shortly after 5:30 at the Spruce Meadows Christmas Market.
It was really cool. A lot of people in the crowd in the Christmas market were looking up and they were really interested.
While Tahoe Morales saw it from his home, one of his security cameras also caught it.
Magnificent. It was beautiful, actually.
The Facebook group Alberta Aurora Chasers says the fireball was actually visible from across the province, with reports coming in from Wainwright, Edmonton, Lacombe, Red Deer, Airdrie, Okotoks, Lethbridge, and Pincher Creek. A University of Calgary Aurora camera caught it in Lucky Lake, Saskatchewan, approximately 145 kilometers south of Saskatoon. But what was it? According to a U of C astronomy professor, he believes it's a piece of space equipment that was scheduled to re-enter the atmosphere around December 1st. This would be from a rocket that launched on November 5th in New Zealand.
With the commercialization of space, we see more strange features in the sky related to launches and, of course, to basically materials that come down.
It was kind of a very very cool way to cap, the beginning of the Christmas season.
Very few surprises in life, and I think it was just kind of a nice, something different to kind of capture people's attentions away from day-to-day life or politics or whatever it is.
Tyler Barrows, CTV News, Calgary.
Bringing the great outdoors inside in a new photography exhibit.
This show and this gallery is documenting the women's cohort that is made up of young women and girls who got a chance to step outside with us year after year to Quebec, to Alberta, and to Vancouver.
The photos showcase 4 years of mentorship-driven outdoor programming with the Kickback Foundation, who works to create opportunities for youth in underserved communities.
Is a nonprofit out of the East End bringing opportunities to a wide range of youth at the intersections of art, education, and sport.
The 24 photos features the female participants captured by visual artist Isabel Okor and photographer Yasmin Omar.
Having that safe space, I think especially when I put the camera down, those late conversations where they were talking about their lives and being vulnerable and opening up were so important in the process.
It was so inspiring, honestly, especially just seeing the courage and the willingness the girls had to try everything. They were very excited about the outdoors.
Each participant leaving the experience with skills to last a lifetime.
Things aren't as scary anymore for some reason. Like after being on a plane, going to Vancouver, and just everything that happened on the trip and all the experiences, like when a new opportunity arises now, I'm not scared to take it.
The Kickback program will begin its next round of adventures in the spring of 2026. The one-on-one Where We Bloom exhibit is free to attend here at It's OK Studio and will be in place through to December 3rd. Jessica Smith, CTV News.
Soon, you'll be able to board the bus, the metro, and the REM with just your phone. The Montreal Area Regional Transit Authority, or ARTM, is now running a pilot project that lets you validate your fares with a virtual Opus card, one that lives in your phone instead of your wallet. But if you're an iPhone user, you're going to have to wait a little longer. Only users of Android phones can participate in the pilot project. Here's how it'll work. After downloading the Chrono app on my Google Pixel phone, I open it up and click on Purchase a Virtual Fare. From there, I pick my travel zone. I'm choosing Montreal. Then all modes, because I take all three. And then I pick my fare. After I'm done, I pay for my fares, and the funds are loaded immediately and can be used right away. And with a tap of my phone over the reader, the fare is validated, and I'm good to go. We talked to some transit users about this new feature and asked them if they think this is something they would use.
I think yes, it's going to be easier than take out my wallet and take my card off and scan it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, it's going to be easier.
I'm a bit old-fashioned, so I'd rather have the card, just because most of the time my phone does not have enough battery, if I'm being honest.
Even in the case that I don't have my wallet or something. Plus we're in a period where everyone's using their phone for everything.
ARTM partnered with Masabi, a UK company that has launched virtual fare systems in more than 200 cities around the world. It's part of the ARTM's efforts to modernize the entire ticketing system under its Concerto project, which has a $146 million budget. Cities like New York and Los Angeles have let people get on buses and subways with their phones for years. So why has it taken Montreal so long to get on board? Here's what the ARTM said. The ARTM says they had to test and roll out new features on a gradual basis instead of all at once.
It's a huge transformation. We need to integrate it with devices such as a mobile phone, Android, and iOS. And it requires an update of 12,000 different devices, such as the validator you have here, okay? So you need to do that in 5 territories. It concerns STM, STL, RTL, EXO.
And if all goes well during testing, the feature will roll out to all users next year. The next phase of the project is to test validating fares with credit and debit cards. That is set for 2026. Joe Lofero, CTV News.
When
Windsor's newest centenarian has no shortage of family who have wrapped their arms around her. A weekend celebration bringing together her 9 children and an extended family now spanning generations. Surrounding yourself with people who love you, is that the secret to a long life?
Secret, I'm afraid I don't like that word. I hang around with good people, let's face it. It's just natural.
But the birthday present she's about to receive is a secret born from her own handwriting. After Geraldine was forced to move out of her family home and into the village at St. Clair last year, her eldest daughter stumbled upon something incredible while clearing up her belongings.
This notebook, and so shortly after she moved, I thought, oh my goodness, look she's got a whole bunch of pages about her childhood.
Starting with the words, quote, "Through the years of raising all of you, I would, on occasion, reminisce about my years growing up. I thought maybe it would be a good time and not too late at the age of 73 to write down my thoughts and share my humble past with you."
We have an account now of my mother's life as a child, up until coming into Windsor, living on a farm, going through the Depression, living under poverty.
And with her mother's 100th birthday drawing near, Christine Nugent put in motion a family plan to pull those pages out of a dusty notebook and put them onto printed, illustrated, professionally bound pages, all produced by her own family. On Saturday, Geraldine received a copy of the book simply titled Memories.
I'm amazed about it.
When you got a 100-year-old mother, you appreciate all the knowledge, you appreciate everything you've done. I need a kiss.
Geraldine was far from the only person to receive a copy of the book.
We're very happy to have one for each of you here today.
Yeah. A gesture that ensures the memories she first wrote down 27 years ago live on in her family for generations. In Windsor, Sanjay Maru, CTV News.
Another trophy on the shelf for Mark Kennedy. The St. Albert native is fresh off helping Team Jacobs clinch a spot at the Winter Olympics in February.
We didn't just build this team to win the Olympic trials. We tried to build this team to win an Olympic gold medal. So this was another step in that direction, and we'll try to play that well when we get to Cortina and try to bring it home.
Kennedy calls the St. Albert Curling Club home.
So exciting to have him come out of the St. Albert Curling Club as a junior, as an ambassador for our club, as he competes internationally.
This will be Kennedy's 4th time wearing the maple leaf at the Winter Olympics. Brian Coops has watched every one of Kennedy's Olympic appearances. He joined the club back in 1968.
To have the privilege of watching him grow up, he was in our Little Rock program here. He was on my high school team, and then he played with his dad, and we played against him for years with his dad, and then they got his dad to coach full-time.
Kennedy continues to help out the juniors at the St. Albert Curling Club.
Teaches them how to sweep, talks about how to manage rocks, spends time with all of them, learns their names. He's really fantastic at just being very approachable.
Kennedy has 2 months to prepare for the games, where he hopes to add another medal to his trophy case. Merrick Takash, CTV News, St. Albert.
There we go. Let's go. It's a weekly occurrence at Rob McMurren's house in Waterloo. Linemen from the Warriors University football team lifting weights with their coach.
We got to get bigger and stronger. That's why the guys are out here lifting right now.
We're with guys that we love. We love lifting weights. Our coach loves it too. We're building a better bond, better relationship. Yeah, we love it here.
McMurren, who works in the university's shipping and receiving department, has been a volunteer on the Warriors football team for well over 2 decades. He was recognized for his efforts this year with the Ontario University Athletics Assistant Football Coach of the Year award.
Pretty big honor. I really, really appreciate it. You know, I've been at this a long time, and, you know, I'm not looking for accolades, but it's nice to be noticed for your work.
McMurren isn't just some guy in Canadian football. He spent 5 years as a nose tackle with the Warriors, winning a Yates Cup in 1997, and was named an All-Canadian. McMurren attended Hamilton Tiger Cats training camp and played pro football in France. He's also coached high school football for several years.
The kids are all great, so I just keep coming back because it's fun. It's a lot of fun for me. It's the way to keep competing without actually getting beat up on Saturdays. So
we think he's awesome, hard worker. Yeah, honestly, I wouldn't ask for a greater coach. One of the reasons why we came to Waterloo.
But that's just the surface of McMurren. He was an avid rugby player growing up and played lacrosse as a teen, a sport he returned to at the age of 30.
I stopped playing rugby because I had too many concussions, so I decided being a lacrosse fighter might be a good idea. So I played 1 year with the lacrosse team. I had to stop playing because I had too many concussions, really.
Despite one season with the Kitchener Kodiaks, McMurren helped the team win a national championship in 2003.
My boss was one of the coaches. I tried out and I made the team and won a Canadian championship.
Equipped with some massive hands and still wanting to better his body and compete, McMurren then discovered the sport of grip strength, picking up heavy metal and bending steel in his pastime.
I was the 105 champion for the Canadian Nationals last year, but in the North Americans I was 7th 2 years ago in North America. This is all stuff that I've bent.
McMurren says his wife and 2 daughters are also into the heavy lifting in the basement, a commitment to strength that spills over to everyone who knows him.
Strength-wise, I think also maturity-wise, he's a great coach, great person to model after. Overall, great dude.
Yeah, on and off the field.
Yeah.
Colton Weens, CTV News, Waterloo.
It's my happy place.
The story behind this garage filled with typewriters begins at the back of it.
This is the very first machine.
One of 2 typewriters that Brendan bought on a whim at a yard sale.
And I thought, wow, those are kind of neat and old, and I bet I could get them working.
He painted the first one the same color as his car at the time, after figuring out how to fix it on his own.
The analog of it, for me, is what I really like.
But before he could solve the mechanical puzzle of the second typewriter, Brendan began touring the world as the lead singer of the AC/DC tribute band, BC/DC.
And it's great. It keeps going.
Except when the pandemic stopped it, and Brendan started tinkering with that second typewriter 27 years after the first one.
I just love the mechanics of it. And now I got about, 160.
Brendan has refurbished every one, accompanied by a soundtrack of not classic rock, but songs from whatever year the typewriter was built. His collection ranges from machines made during the war to fold compact during combat.
The guys would be in the trenches typing out.
To this more comical take on contemporary communication.
Tweets took a lot longer to get to where they were going. And then you'd have to wait for the reply in the mail.
And while his favorite typewriter is this Torpedo 18B,
types like a hot knife through butter.
Brendan rarely types anything on any of them.
It's like I'm a car mechanic who doesn't drive.
Instead, Brendan lends dozens of his typewriters to high school libraries so young people can get acquainted with the antiquated.
Brings you back to technology that isn't distracting.
Instead, these machines, designed to be fixed rather than disposed of, invite you to focus and compose something wonderful with words.
They're all full of stories. They're full of whatever's in your head.
Which is why Brendan says every one of them is worth saving.
There's a finite amount of them, so I want to try and keep them alive.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Port Moody.